Well, we want to welcome you to In the Blender with Brandon and Madeline Hyman. And we're just excited to be here with you guys on this evening. Listen, you want to make sure that you let your neighbors, your friends, your families, your relatives know that In the Blender with Brandon and Madeline Hyman is live and on air on Facebook Live. And so we're going to jump right into this. But first, I just want to tell you how excited we are to be with you guys. It's just been an awesome journey. We've been with you for a little over a year. It's been very impactful, enlightening. So many people have just come to us and have just told us how much they've been blessed by this program. And so it's just been a joy to share with you guys every Tuesday at 7:30 live. We're here. We're excited. We're ready. Packed full of information that will take your life, your family, your relationship to another level, another dimension. And so you just want to get tuned in. Listen, this is 20 years of excellence, 20 years of great experience, things that we've gone through, things that we've overcome, things that we've encountered. There's so much that we can share with you guys, and there's so much that we are sharing with you to impact your lives. There's nothing like hearing from somebody that has done what you're looking to do and has overcome all the challenges that come along with it. And so you just want to make sure you're tuned in, that you tapped into us. And sweetheart, let's go ahead and give the statistics so we can get started.
Okay. Studies show that the attitude of both parents play a huge role in how the child will adjust to the blended family. Parents who demonstrate negativity or talk badly about the step-parent will make the transition more difficult for their children. Secondly, children who live in a blended family are 50% more likely to develop health problems than children living with both biological parents. And lastly, since most people tend to remarry, the blended family becomes more and more common every day.
And so this is our third session on this particular topic. You are the answer. And so I want to encourage you guys, listen, go to our Facebook page or the In the Blender Facebook page, and you can view the programs in their entirety, and you can get come up to breast with what we shared. And so we're not going to spend a lot of time on that. But again, you want to know how the attitudes play a role? We talked about it. If you want to know about the health problems that come along with the blended family, we talked about it. If you want to know how common the blended family is becoming, we've already talked about it. So make sure you go back to our page or either the In the Blender Facebook page, and you can view, again, those programs in their entirety, and you will be up to date, and you will be on fire for the information that we shared. And so we're going to pick back up from the last couple of sessions. You are the answer. And we're just going to give a brief overview before we get into this ending of it. And so the first one was, understand that someone is depending on you to have a successful blended family. It is so important to understand how much people are dependent on you to have a successful blended family. On yesterday, we had the homegoing service, or the celebration of life service, for one of my dear cousins, Mr. Timothy Tillery. And I tell you, it was awesome just seeing people that you haven't seen in ages, meeting people you never knew. But I was able to see the impact that he left on the lives of those that knew and loved him. I'm talking about over hundreds of people were there in attendance, and everybody and their mother had nothing but great things to say about this gentleman. And I mentioned him because he was a blended family. He wasn't the product of a blended family, but yes, he was a product of a blended family as well, because he had other siblings as well. But just the steadfastness in his position of showing love, an example that he showed throughout his life, how it just impacted people tremendously, is something that you have to understand. Our life is not our own. And a lot of times when we come into this blended family, we make it about us. But when you realize the impact that you make on others, not just your family at large, but I'm talking about people that are gleaning from you, people that are relatives, people that are friends, people you grew up with, people that you work with. I mean, I met so many people that just had nothing but great things to say about this great man. And so it's important to just understand that people are dependent upon you to have a successful blended family. The love that he had for his family, the love that he shared for his family, it permeated throughout the room. And people just responded off of that. Even the love that he shared, even for us as cousins, I mean, it just was awesome. And so I just wanted to give a shout out to him. Also, I had an opportunity to see one of my uncles, and this guy right here, my uncle James Wade, he set a real foundation for me. He was the first one to show me how to handle a blended family. I mean, this man loved my aunt, loved my cousin. He had also some other cousins as well, some other daughters, but he showed me an example of how to take another child and make them your own. Even though you didn't biologically produce them, you would know in his behavior that that wasn't his biological daughter. And so I want to shout him out. I love him so much. You know, I shared with the congregation on yesterday. I had some brief words to share, and how, you know, everybody knows me, know that I'm everybody's favorite. And so it was funny because I had a lot of family that was hating the fact that I'm the favorite grandson and the favorite cousin and the favorite nephew and the favorite everything. And so, it was so interesting how we had this dialogue after the service. But one thing stood out, and I asked everybody this. I said, why is it that I'm the only one that was in elementary school with diamond rings and y'all didn't have it? And y'all had those little blow pops, the little sucker, you know, the little sucker blow pops that are like a big diamond. Everybody else was sporting those, but I was sporting the real thing. And so it was kind of funny. We went back and forth with it. But understanding how much your life impacts others is key, because it affects your decision making when it comes to this blended family. Me knowing how important it was for me to honor my wife, honor my daughters, honor my son, how important it was for me to live a certain lifestyle, how important it was for me to hold a certain standard. For me, it was paramount, because I knew that one false move or one bad or one uninformed move would hinder a lot of people as relates to this blended family dynamic. And so you want to remember that. And then you want to evaluate your circle periodically. You know, you want to make sure that your core group of people are on point. And understand this. There are some people that are in your life for a lifetime. There are some people that's in your life for a season. And then there's some people that's in your life that shouldn't even be there at all. And so you gotta evaluate those people that you allow to be in your circle, that you allow to be on your squad, or whatever you want to call it. Because people are going to either do one or two things. They're either going to add to you or they're going to subtract. And so you want to make sure that the people that you have with you, and understand this, there's nothing wrong with outgrowing a relationship, because we do that. That's called life. Sometimes you outgrow relationships. Don't be so attached to individuals that you yourself don't grow. Let me say that again. Don't be so attached to people that you yourself don't grow, because everybody don't understand the blended family. Everybody don't understand what you're trying to do in life. And because of that, you'll find yourself connected with people that may give you the wrong advice. They may give you the wrong suggestions. Like, it don't take all that, or you don't have to do that. Let me say this. It not only takes all that, it takes even more. There are some things as a blended family that we had to do that in the natural, it just felt like it didn't take all that. But at the end of the day, it took that and even more, because there's some sacrifices. There's some things that you're going to have to do above and beyond what you may naturally want to do in order to get the success out of this. Initially, because I wanted to develop such a strong relationship with my daughters, I always called them my daughters. I never said, hey, Kana. I never said, these are my stepdaughters. Because anybody that know me, you know I don't believe in steps anyway, except for the ones that come up to the door and those that go down the basement or upstairs. Those are only steps I believe in. because, again, this isn't my stepwife. I never introduce her as, oh, yeah, this is Madeline. She's my stepwife. See how she just laughed? Because that sounds real stupid. But some people have the nerve or the audacity to call a child their stepchild when you don't say that person is your step-spouse. I'm going to leave that alone because that's for another session. But again, if you want the fullness, if you want the best out of this relationship, then you got to understand the meaning of words. And you got to understand what words bring to that dynamic. One of the most awesome things that I experienced today, baby, was talking to my youngest daughter. And we had this conversation because when I first met my wife, I was a minister. And so that's how everybody related to me as Minister Hyman, that title. They addressed me as Minister Hyman. And so the girls will always address me as that. And I'm like, listen, as much as we've gone through, as much as we've grown, as close as we are, can we get another name for me? I mean, like, really, if you guys say, hey, or you, whatever, but let us be a little bit more personal than just that. And so I'm talking to my daughter, and she says, hey, Dad, what's going on? You guys have no idea what that did to me at that particular moment. I mean, that thing just took me above and beyond. Like, I was on cloud nine all day long, still on cloud nine. Just because the mere fact that those words came out of her mouth. And so it's important to understand that you want to put yourself in a position where you're receiving those things. Had I not evaluated those people, because there were some people around me that didn't understand that. There were some people around my wife that didn't understand that. And so we had to make a conscious decision and choice to do what we knew that was best for us, that was going to take our family to that next place in life. And there was no love lost. We still love those people. We still honor those people. We'll still give them the shirt off our backs. We'll still care for them. We'll still do all those things. But as it relates to that closeness, or what we will allow you to impart into us, we had to make that change. And so one of the scriptures that I love that goes with that is 1 Corinthians 15:33. Be not deceived. Evil communication corrupts good manner. And so I don't care how good a person is, if their communication isn't right, that's evil communication. See, we're not talking about people that rob, steal, kill, whatever. I'm just talking about people that communicate wrongly. And let me say this. They might don't communicate badly, but if they don't communicate properly as it concerns you, that's evil communication. If their communication isn't building you up, if their communication isn't pushing you forward, if their communication isn't taking you to another level, another dimension in life and faith and prosperity, then that communication is now evil. And so we want to make that clear because sometimes we hear things and we just make it one thing and we don't look at it in its entirety. And so we want to go from there. All growth is a product of exposure. We talked about that. Mm-hmm. All growth is a product of exposure. Anytime you want to grow, you expose. Let's look at a plant. If you want a plant to grow, 9 times out of 10, you got to expose it to 2 things. You got to expose it to water or you got to expose it to sunlight. If you don't expose it to one of those 2 things, or if not both, it's not going to grow. And that's a rare plant that grows without those. And so if you want to really grow and flourish and become all that you desire for this to be, then you got to have the right exposure. Again, I'm talking to you guys because, hey, the brother lost 130 pounds. And so I'm in this phase where I'm getting this body together. But if I don't expose myself to certain things, certain routines, certain dynamics as relates to discipline and weightlifting and cardio, if I don't expose myself to that, then I can't grow in that area. And so I have to make sure that regardless of watch this, my growth isn't predicated upon how I feel. My growth is predicated upon what I need. Think about it. Your growth isn't predicated upon how you feel. Because I don't feel like getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't feel like running on a treadmill. I don't feel like doing chin-ups. I don't feel like doing crunches. I don't feel like doing any of that. I feel like sleeping. I feel like staying in. I feel like not going to work. That's what I feel like. But in order to get what I want, I have to get my butt up. I have to get my tail up and get into that gym when nobody's there. While other people are sleeping, I'm working. While other people are resting, I'm getting it in. Because what I want out of this, you're not going to get sleeping. You're not going to get resting. The same way you want out of this family, you want out of this dynamic, even in life, period. You're going to have to expose yourself to greater. My pastor always says this, Apostle Michael A. Freeman, get away from people that got your problem and get around people that got your solution.
Yep.
Get away from people that have your problem and get around people that have your solution. Why? Because you're the answer. And answers always hang around answers. Answers don't hang around questions. Answers don't hang around problems. Answers always hang around solutions. Ask billionaires. When the last time you seen Bill Gates chilling with Ray Ray? You're not going to see that because they're on two different levels. And so in order for you to get to that level, you got to now put yourself in a position to be around people that's at that level and that's speaking those things. And that's making sure that you're speaking those things. Because there's sometimes we check each other. We may say something jokingly or nonchalantly, and then we got to check. Hold on, don't say that. Because what you just said was an evil communication. We're not calling each other evil, but what we're saying is what you're saying is counterproductive to what it is we're believing. And so remember, all growth is a product of exposure. In order to read right, you must learn to sow right. Again, in order to read right, you got to learn how to sow right. Any good farmer knows that the ground has to be proper in order to get back a harvest. And so that's called sowing right. You don't sow on ground that's not good. You don't sow on ground that can't produce. Well, watch this. If you don't take care of that ground, if you don't till it, if you don't water it, if you don't do all those things to make sure you got the proper nutrients, then you can't get back from that ground what you want from it. My point exactly is this. If you want something from your family, that's stuck, didn't it? If you want something from this family dynamic, you got to learn how to till that ground. You got to learn how to water it, and you got to make sure you're planting the right seed. Mm-hmm. And you got to understand that watermelon seed and corn seed don't grow together. Two good harvests, two good crops, but they don't grow together. So you got to make sure what you want, you got to be specific in what you're desiring to get out of it. And you got to stick to that. Don't change it until you get back from it what it is you desire from it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So in order to read right, get back from your family what you desire, you must learn to sow right. Present to your family an example to model. What we do is present to our family an example to model. Let me go to this. There's some things that you might do that just might not be right. You guys heard some stories. There were some things early on that I did that just wasn't right. That's not saying my heart wasn't right, but I wasn't right. I did some things that weren't right. And so I had to then go to my family and repent. Mm-hmm. I had to go to my family and apologize. And I didn't do it cowardly, like I get everybody together and say, hey, y'all, I was wrong, I'm sorry. No, I went to each and every individual and apologized for each and everything that I did, that I knew was wrong. And so I wanted to make sure that I tilled that ground. Right. And when I learned how to till that ground, man, the harvest was tremendous. I'm getting everything from my family that I want from it. Why? Because I understand how to sow and I understand how to reap. Understand your position in the blended family is bigger than you. Understand this. Your position is bigger than you. Mm-hmm. It's bigger than you. I'm not just a husband. I'm a father. I'm a grandfather. I know I'm probably one of the best looking granddads you ever seen. But I'm a grandfather. Oh my God, somebody said I talk about me too much. She ain't heard nothing yet. Wait till I lose this next 10 pounds. I'm really going to talk about
broadcast about yourself. You talking about you. You see y'all. We
just having fun. But no, understand your position in the blended family is bigger than you. When your family knows how much you care, your influence will increase. So guys, you want to make sure your family knows how much you care. Once my girls understood how much I cared, and once my wife really understood how much I cared, my influence was there, and vice versa, because this goes both ways. Once I understood how much they cared, then their influence changed and their influence increased. Because there's some things that my girls advise me on. My wife has always advised me. Sometimes I want to hear it, sometimes I don't. That don't mean she's not advising. But her level of influence has truly increased. And so just because you lost a game does not mean that you lost the match. Remember that. Just because you lost the game does not mean that you lost the match. There were a lot of games that I lost. I told y'all, I've been set on fire. I've been in the head with a shoe. I've been in a battle royal. Those were games. Those were games. And there's some other games that we're gonna share later on, but y'all not ready for them yet. So we gotta, make sure you built up to hear that. But listen, just because I lost those games, I didn't lose the match. Right. I won. But in winning, there's some losses that happen. And so you can't get discouraged because some things don't go your way or some things don't come out the way you initially planned. Just keep on working at it. The more you keep pushing, the better it will be. Yep. Strengthening your listening skills so you will strengthen your family. Let me say that again. Strengthen your listening skills and you will strengthen your family. Because I wanted to be the best at what I did, I learned how to listen. My family tell you, I hear good. I hear so good sometimes you don't even have to finish it because I know what you're saying. But that's because I've exercised my ears to hear. That's why the word says, he that has an ear, let him hear. I've exercised my ears to hear. I make sure that when my wife says something, I'm listening. Sometimes she don't think I'm listening, but I'm paying close attention because I want to make sure I'm hearing clearly. I don't want to do something or present something that's going to be counterproductive to what I want out of this relationship. Mm-hmm. And so you got to make sure that you strengthen your listening skills so you'll strengthen your family. Now listen to this. There's a difference between hearing and listening. Have you ever heard someone say, you hear me, but you're not listening? Mm-hmm. Hearing is the natural ability or an inborn trait that allows us to recognize sound through our ears by catching vibrations. While listening is the learned skill. Listening is a learned skill in which we can receive sounds through ears and transform them into meaningful messages. The process of diligently hearing and interpreting the meaning of words and sentences spoken by the speaker during the conversation. So if you want to make sure that you know the difference between hearing and listening. Okay? And so, listen, we're out of time.
No, you got 7:53. You got
oh, my goodness. Okay. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. I'm just rolling. I'm just look up. I saw 7 something. I was like, I thought the 4 was a 9. Hey, Rhonda, how you doing? And so it's important, guys, because this last one is key. You want to make sure you strengthen your listening skills. You want to make sure because opportunities are hidden in plain view, waiting to be recognized. There's some opportunities that's going to come to advance your family. There's some opportunity that's going to come that's going to grow and mature your family. And they're hidden right before you. What are they? Some of the opportunities are family time. Mm-hmm. Some of those opportunities are family meetings. Some of those opportunities are just talking with each other, just hanging out with each other. Some of those opportunities are just listening to what the other person has to say. Some of those opportunities are just keeping your mouth shut about what you want to get across because at the end of the day, what you might want to say might not even be productive for the family. Thanks, Isaac. I appreciate that. And so opportunities are hidden in plain view. A lot of times we're looking for things to do and they're already before you. They're already there. You're getting hints all the time. Right. And let me say this, because this took me back when I thought about this. When you blow an opportunity, you got to fix it. Years ago, and I'm sharing this with you guys because I'm still dealing with an opportunity that I blew. And because we're so transparent on stuff, I can share this with you. Years ago for our anniversary, for my birthday, my wife wanted to do something so awesome for me. It was an opportunity for me to be showered by her, to be blessed by her, to be taken care of by her, and I blew it. And so what she did was called treasure hunt. What was it called?
Yeah, that's what it was called.
It's called treasure hunt. And so anyway, she left all these clues for me.
Oh.
She left all these clues for me during the course of the day. And it was for me to decipher what those clues were and then go to the next one.
Right.
And so, I mean, I was rolling with the clues, but then she did something, and you know, hey, listen, I'm still working on some things, guys. But for me, it's like if something is done that don't make sense, it don't make sense. But just because it don't make sense to me, that don't mean it don't make sense to her.
Exactly.
And so she gave me a clue about a restaurant and a hotel. Well, unbeknownst to her, or not even thinking, because she really didn't think about it, and it's not because she wasn't being thoughtful, but because she didn't think about it. There were 2 hotels and 2 of the same restaurants right beside each other in different areas of the city. And so when she gave me the clue, she said Red Lobster by this hotel.
Yeah, but it would have been the one that we frequently was going to at that time, not one across town that we didn't go to that often. So it didn't make sense to you.
Like I said, because it didn't make sense to me, did not mean it didn't make sense to her. But I'm sharing this with you guys because my frustration with her was so
detrimental to me.
So detrimental to her.
I never did it again.
She never did it again. I mean, really, she never did it again. Not only did she never do it again, she's been, even 20 years later, she's still reserved in doing things like that because she knows how I am. And so, but you guys, and I'm sharing this with you guys because we're 20 years in now. I mean, you know, it don't even matter for us.
Mess up the fun. Yep.
Yeah,
yep,
I messed up the fun big
did.
time.
Yep.
But I'm sharing this with you guys because I don't want you to mess that up. I don't want you to mess up an opportunity because you're so stuck in your way of doing things. You're so stuck in your way of receiving things or hearing things or delivering things. And so I missed the opportunity of 20 years of getting something that I should have been getting on a much greater basis than what I've got. I don't even know if I've gotten it 20 times.
What?
That type of... I mean, you know, but because you got, I mean, your boy was off the chain. I was done for real. And so, yeah, I'm changed. You better cool me because I don't want to miss that opportunity again. I don't want to miss her wanting to shower me or do something awesome for me and me being stuck on my way of doing things or my way of processing thoughts.
Yeah, but you still...
No, I still like stuff the way I like it.
No, you still think that if it's not the way you think, that it don't make sense. If it don't make sense to you, you still think it don't make sense.
No.
Yeah.
It don't make sense.
No, just because it don't make sense to you don't mean it don't make sense to me.
Exactly. I get that. That don't mean it changed how I think about it, but I get it.
But it don't mean it don't make sense.
No, I know that. But it don't make sense to me. If it don't make sense to me, it don't make sense.
See?
But that's not saying that it don't make sense to you. And you know that. So
no, but you're trying to say that it don't make sense.
Because some stuff you do don't make sense. You know.
To you.
That's right, laugh at it, Ron.
But it makes sense to me.
See, watch this. But this is 20 years, guys. This is 20, and we had this conversation on air and off air. It's just so funny to us because we laugh just like we laugh now. But I'm just encouraging you guys, listen, don't blow an opportunity.
Right.
I blew an opportunity to allow my wife to bless me in such a way that it just would have taken our relationship to another level, even greater than what it is now. And let me say this, it's great. It's excellent. I mean, we're doing things now at this stage that I wish we could have done 20 years ago. We're on a page with each other so greatly on this stage or this area in our life that I wish we were 20 years ago. But that's because we both allowed ourselves to grow up and mature and hear and listen better than we hear. And so, listen, in my final closing, make sure that you don't blow opportunities because they're there. They're hidden in plain sight, waiting to be recognized. I blew an opportunity that you don't have to blow. Thank God for second chances, third chances, fourth chances, fifth chances, because every day I desire to be right, that's another chance to get that opportunity back. And so listen, our final thought is this. Always remember that every family is different and may have different challenges. So every blended family challenge should be addressed individually depending upon the challenge.
The personalities are different, so you want to measure that weight. The personalities are different.
That's why I got my glasses on. The personalities are different. So you want to use measures that work for you. One of the main things that you should always do is keep the lines of communication open in the blended family. Parents should always show unity in front of the children, even if they secretly don't agree. Having patience. No, lastly, you want to always demonstrate patience. Showing that you are unified defeats the enemy's attacks in the blended family. Having patience to work through the difficult challenges in the blended family will bring about a happy blended family. And remember, you became a blended family because you chose to. Now choose to be successful. If you have any questions, any comments, anything you want to add to it, how do they reach us, sweetheart?
Email us at weareablendedfamily@gmail.com.
Remember, we are a blendedfamily@gmail.com.
And don't forget our website will be up soon.
Yes, you make sure you might want to get to that. And also, the book is coming out soon, so be tuned in. We love you guys, and until next week, bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.